Hey, tell them the clock. All right, we got to go.
Friday night to you on the Rebel Sports Network and live from the Wetumpka Athletic Sports Complex here in Wetumpka, Alabama, about 18 miles east of Prattville. We've got high school football on a Friday night. The Vestavia Hills Rebels coming in at 1-4. They'll take on the Prattville Lions, who have a record of 4-1. On a beautiful Friday night in early October, Kurt Bloom along with you. Chad Pilcher is here as well. We've discussed this all during our drive down and basically during the week. The records might be a little misleading, Chad.
Well, you look at Prattville, they come in 4-1, whereas Vestavia comes in at 1-4. But when you really dig down into the schedule, Prattville started the season with a 41-37 victory over Pike Road. They then defeated Stanhope Elmore, and Oak Mountain beat Oak Mountain 35-28. They beat Tuscaloosa County 30-0, went to 4-0, and then 2 weeks ago, 40-6, which is what got them to 4-1. Vestavia 1-4, but when you look at their losses, they lost to number 5 Hewitt Trussville, number 4 Thompson, number 3 Carver Montgomery, and number 2 Auburn. So all 4 of Vestavia's teams that have defeated them are all ranked in the top 5. It's been a brutal schedule for Vestavia to start the season. They did get the critical victory against Hillcrest Tuscaloosa to get the one victory. That makes them 1-2 in the region, and the reality is for Vestavia, everything is set up where they control their own destiny. If Vestavia wins the next 3 football games, they will likely be in the playoffs, and Prattville is the most difficult on paper of those 3 opponents in the next 3 weeks.
The Rebels 1-2 in Region 3, and the Lions are 2-1, and we're about ready for Friday night football with the Rebels on offense first, led by the sophomore quarterback, Charlie Taff.
And going to need Taft to really have a big night tonight, because the big story coming into this ball game is that William Tonsmeyer, the starting tailback, is out indefinitely. So he is out. Noah Boylan's going to move into that starting spot. Carson Purdy is also out, the backup running back. So Boylan moves into the starting role, Tonsmeyer out.
You got Boylan blocking for a Boylan trying to run. A wide open reception on the far side. 45-40, a long one opening up the ball game. That's Chase Webb with a very long reception and one pass, one play, and the Rebs already in Prattville territory.
What a big start for Vestavia, coming in, having some new guys at different positions. That's what Coach Evans said. We really need to start fast, and they did on that first play.
And so they'll stick with Chase Webb, and Webb on the end around, taken down around the 24-23 yard line with an injured Prattville Lion. But just 2 plays, and you are on the verge of the red zone if you are Vestavia Hills.
And just like that, Chase Webb goes over 50 yards of total offense on those first 2 plays. So a real dynamic start for this Vestavia football team here in this ball game on what is the biggest game of the season. Every week you know that you got to come and bring it here in Region 3, but this is no doubt for Vestavia. The loser of this game is on the wrong side of the playoff picture, and so it's really important. When you look at the region rankings coming in tonight, Thompson and Hoover are both 3-0 in region play. Hewitt Trussville is 2-1, and Prattville is 2-1. Prattville's only loss was to Hewitt Trussville, and then Hewitt's only loss was to Hoover, an 8-7 loss 2 weeks ago, where Hoover was able to squeak that one out. So Vestavia is sitting there in the 5th spot, tied with Oak Mountain, who they obviously play next week. So all the teams that Vestavia needs to defeat to be able to sneak into that 4th spot are ahead on their schedule.
Injured Prattville Lion walking off the field. Trey Rawlison, one of their fine linebackers. Taff already with a 42-yard completion, and then Chase Webb with a 14-yard first down run. Handoff, and Boylan inside the 15. I was mentioning at the very beginning, Boylan blocking for Boylan. His brother Caleb is the center, and then the youngster Noah, only a sophomore. Caleb 1 year older as a junior rather. Taff, Boylan heads straight towards the pylon and is about 3 yards short of the end zone. And an incredible start for the Rebels so far.
Yeah, they've done a lot of mix and matching. Price Lemaster was actually in at quarterback the snap before, then Taff comes back in to toss it. So going to use a lot of guys at different spots here tonight.
That's Littleton over the right side, and Littleton with a touchdown for the Rebels. That didn't take very long. Every play run by Robert Evans and Josh Franklin was a positive play during that drive.
And that's such a big start for this Vestavia team. There was so much back and forth over the last 2 weeks. It was great to have the off week. Knowing you're not going to have tons, how do you mix in Littleton? How do you use it? And there he cashes in the touchdown.
Point after is good by Owen Simpson. So one drive, one score. The Rebels 7, the Lions nothing. Chad and I will be back from Wetumpka right after this timeout.
At Birmingham Fastener, every day begins with our core values: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're on the lookout for talented individuals to join our sales and manufacturing teams at one of the nation's leading manufacturers. With over 15 locations nationwide, we offer endless opportunities for growth and success alongside incredible teammates. Be a part of shaping the future of American manufacturing and help us build our nation's infrastructure.
All right, we're back 7-0. The Rebels in front. Our keys to the game brought to you by Aaron Cummings, Rocky Ridge Road, Alpha Agent. And for Prattville, Chad, what do they have to do?
Yeah, they're going to have to run the ball. We're about to see this offense take the field for the first time. Bouncing kickoff gets into the end zone. When you talk about Prattville and what they want to do, they're going to feature their running back number 3, Tristan Blackman. He's a 6'2", 190-pound junior. He's a guy that's been really the bright spot for this Prattville team. He took on the first series against Hoover, he took one to the house. Unfortunately for Prattville, that was the only points that they scored all night, but he's been a real dynamic back, done a really good job. So for Prattville, they want to run the ball offensively and then play consistently. They've had flashes here and there, but they've not been able to put everything together. That's the keys to the game for Prattville High School. Brought to you by Aaron Cummings, Alpha Insurance Agent on Rocky Ridge Road.
The quarterback is Gavin Rigdon. Fires a short pass.
It's a nice job defending there by Daniel Richardson in the pass game. So just as we said they need to run the ball, they come out and throw it.
Rigdon, the senior quarterback, 5'10", 170. This will be a 2nd and 10. High snap. And the Rebels gobble up Blackman before he can do some damage. Blackman's got size, 6'2", 190 junior. It'll take a couple of Rebels to take him to the ground, but that sets up a very long 3rd down play.
And this is where Vestavia wants Prattville to be. Put them in 3rd and long situations where they can't rely on those short runs. They have to put the ball in the air, force Rigdon to throw the ball, and this is the first opportunity. Vestavia showing pressure. Looks like they may back out of it.
Third and 8. Some pressure coming, and that was a free ball, almost intercepted. So a 4th down. A dream start for the Rebels on the road. You go all the way down the field, you cash in, and then 3 and out.
And that time, they got that type of pressure in the backfield without bringing any blitzing linebackers. That was simply 4 down linemen bringing pressure, doing a great job, and forcing errant throw.
That was Daniel Richardson there who almost had the interception. This is a high punt, and it will take a Vestavia Hills bounce, and so the Rebels, who already lead 7-0, will have outstanding field position at the 40.
Coach Robert Evans over the last 2 weeks has had a lot of things to worry about, and he was really worried about how's his team going to come out. You could not draw it up any better. And now let's look at the keys to the game for Vestavia Hills. Number one, they have to eliminate turnovers. Last week, 5 turnovers for Vestavia versus Thompson. 3 of those were run back for touchdowns. So 21 points immediately after turnovers for Thompson. We'll continue this right after this play.
Boylan, the running back. In fact, now a full backfield. And straight up the gut. That's Littleton.
Littleton with the carry. The second thing for Vestavia offensively, control the tempo. You're going to see them very quickly get back up to the line, ready to go. And then on defense, they have to wrap up and really do a good job of tackling the ball on Blackman.
Back to Boylan inside the 30. So with the loss of Tonsmeyer, there are carries to be given out. Boylan, Williamson, and Littleton will try to make up for the loss of Tonsmeyer.
I think you'll see Taff as well. But again, controlling that tempo when we go to those keys to the game, brought to you by Aaron Cummings, Alpha Insurance Agent on Rocky Ridge Road.
Whistle before what looked to be a handoff to Chase Webb.
Going to be false start against Vestavia.
Back you up 5 yards. First down and 15 for the Rebels, who lead by 7. Region 3 matchup, and don't get fooled by those records. 4-1 and 1-4. Webb, fake, Taff to the 30, and then taken down. He had Chase Webb initially, but he was looking a little further downfield.
Yeah, we got another flag on the play. Wanted to take a shot. We got a face mask against Prattville. So that's a huge break for the Rebels. Wanted to run the play. Had a false start, back to Vestavia up 5 yards. Ran the same play. Wanted to take a deep shot. 3 safeties back for Prattville. So a good job of defending by the Lions in the secondary. But then after making that tackle on Taff, looks like it's a 5-yard variety of that face mask. So it's a 5-yard face mask penalty. And you're going to repeat first down, be 1st and 8 for the Rebels.
At the 25, fake. Taff rolls out to the right, flings it towards the 3-yard line. It's incomplete.
Tried to get that ball to Eli Rooks coming across the field. That was well defended again by Prattville. I'll say early in the going in the passing game, at least on this series, they've done a nice job. Had a bust on that first play that got Chase Webb wide open. But there were 3 different levels of receivers for Vestavia, and all 3 were defended well.
Little pitch to Littleton. Littleton on the right side, stumbles and gets his way near a first down.
That was a great effort there by Littleton. He picked up another 5 yards after that initial contact where he was stumbling ahead. Another flag comes out. That's 3 plays in a row. Looks like this one's going to be against the Rebels. I did not see holding. Holding against Vestavia is the call. So that's 3 consecutive plays of penalties here in this ballgame.
So now the Rebels at the 29. Then in motion with Boylan as the running back. But Wetumpka, or rather Prattville, almost jumped, and here's a wide open pass. Caught, and then Littleton drags everybody to the 15-yard line.
What an awesome call by offensive coordinator Josh Franklin, anticipating the pressure. Prattville brought a blitz off of the offensive left side. Taff rolls away from it to the right and then threw back to the left on the screen pass, perfectly set up.
And that's a first down play, by the way. And Prattville having trouble taking down both Littleton and Boylan. That was Boylan on the carry. Rebels can get a first down without scoring. We got one-on-one coverage to the far right. Taff rolls to the right side, holds on to it, and then is taken down at the 14-yard line. He wanted Chase Webb. That was his initial target, but didn't feel comfortable.
He had both a run-pass option there. He could have given it on the dive as well, and if he had it to do over again, probably should have. Instead, he rolls to the right side, tried to run it, did not throw the ball. And so a short gain. That's going to make it a 3rd and 8.
Forward wide receivers for Taft. Charlie, short pass to the right to Webb. Webb inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, his 2nd of the game. Chase Webb.
Have a game, Chase Webb. Run a little slip screen there. Once again, anticipating correctly that Prattville would bring pressure. They brought pressure from their linebackers. Let it come to the quarterback. Taft dropped it off to Webb outside. He finished it off. Touchdown. Extra point is up and good. And Vestavia takes a 14-0 lead.
A pair of touchdowns for Chase Webb. The Rebels 14, Prattville nothing. Chad and I will be back from Wetumpka right after this timeout.
In every moment, greatness awaits. For the bold, the visionary, and those ready to take their shot. Here, we don't chase success, we define it. The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
$14-0. The Rebels out in front of the Lions. Still the opening quarter. A booming kick by Simpson. So the Lions will go on offense. Down 14-0. Chad, when you're down 14-0 first quarter, do you rip up your game plan or do you stay with what you came in with?
You almost start like it's 0-0. You act like the first 14 points didn't happen, and you try to take a deep breath, regroup. For Prattville, think about it. They've only run 3 plays offensively, so defensively they're going to absolutely have to make some adjustments. But offensively, you don't really know if your game plan is working yet because you've only run those 3 plays.
Gavin Rigdon, the senior quarterback. Tristan Blackman, the junior running back. High snap. Blackman up to about the 23-yard line. Gain of about 3.
Yep.
Second down coming up.
And Blackman's a guy I would expect to see the ball very often. His helmet came off there. He's going to have to go off for a play. But a few weeks back against Oak Mountain, Blackman carried the ball 25 times for 159 yards and a touchdown. He was the key in that ball game. So he's a guy, he's a workhorse, a guy you can really give the ball to, and I would expect to see him carry it. But if that score gets a little too far away, then you have to go away from the run.
Another high snap. Handoff to about the 31-yard line. And that should be good enough for a first down. Landon Smith is the backup running back.
And those are 2 completely different backs. Blackman big, tall, strong. Smith is quick, shifty, and you saw that there as he got his first carry of the night.
First down for the Lions, who come in at 4-1. Both teams, by the way, coming in off a bye week. Smith, far side with speed, and he accelerates to the 49.
So Smith comes in effective. The one thing we have not mentioned yet is for Vestavia, they are without 2 of their most important defensive players. Jacob Watson and Cross Tonsmeyer, both out indefinitely. And so they are not available tonight and may not be for the rest of the season. So that is 2 huge losses for this Vestavia defense that they're going to have to fight through. Got a number of guys playing in different spots and getting opportunities here tonight. Nick Williams is filling in at the middle linebacker spot.
Man in motion, the Lions. Complete pass.
That's a nice tackle there by Owen Wilbanks. He was injured in the first game, was able to come back 2 weeks ago and looks very healthy there attacking that ball, so a nice job.
Donovan Brown on the reception. Prattville has a couple of good-sized wideouts, Brody Bowman and Donovan Brown. That was Brown.
Timeout for Vestavia. Yeah, the Rebels just seemed a little out of sync there defensively. So Coach Evans is going to take a timeout, talk through it, and that's one thing. Again, Jacob Watson was kind of the leader of this defense, the middle linebacker. He's the guy that calls the plays, and it's crazy. You talk about guys that were for Williams and Richardson, both of those. Daniel Richardson's filling in at the spur for Cross Tonsmeyer. It's kind of that weak side linebacker position. And so for those two guys, they started the season thinking they were going to play a lot of JV, played on Monday nights, and now here they are thrown into the fire starting on Friday nights. And so they're guys that are very talented. They just don't have that experience. So it's going to take a little time to get going. But what we've seen of them so far, they've been outstanding. And Coach Evans doesn't have a ton of depth, but fortunately feels like the guys who are available to fill in are very capable. It's just crazy when you talk about the injury situation for Vestavia and what they've really faced so far this year. Coach Evans says unlike anything he's ever seen in his career, 20-plus years, of that many injuries and that many guys out and that many guys having to fill in new spots.
2nd down and 4. The Lions, another high snap, and this is a completed pass. Donovan Brown, 1st down. Is it me, or is every snap just a couple of inches high? And Gavin Rigdon with great concentration.
Yeah, Rigdon's doing a good job of going up and getting those balls to avoid those negative plays and do a good job there of delivering a strike. A big cushion for Vestavia defensively, not willing to give up anything deep. And so Prattville took the short out route and the 1st down.
Lions with the 1st and 10. Pressure, and then just dumped to a wide receiver as he inbounds.
And that's what Vestavia's going to have to do. There they brought pressure on the blitz to hurry up Rigdon. Rigdon had a little too comfortable in the backfield being able to sit there and throw the football. So that time they sped him up, and Yates Banner was there on the coverage to make the tackle immediately after the catch.
There are running backs. Yet another high snap, and now the handoff. Inside the 30, Landon Smith.
Nice job there by the Vestavia defense to limit that to a short gain. Josh Arundel did a good job of getting into the backfield. Looked like he was held on that play, but no flag comes out. Now it's a 3rd and 8 for Prattville.
Hey, let's do Nick. This is Nick.
Vestavia showing pressure.
Nick.
Handoff, man moves inside, and that'll be short of a 1st down.
That was a really good tackle there by Grayson Bruno. Did a great job of getting around blockers, getting in the backfield, make the tackle. And now for Prattville, it's decision time. Coach Jason Wallace in his 4th season with the Lions looks like he's going to leave his offense on the field on this 4th and 6.
KJ Blue on the carry. Now, the guy at quarterback coming in is really their Swiss Army knife. That's Braden Graham. And he's usually their running quarterback, Chad. Look for a run play. Well, he calls his own number. And then
he is going to be right there. It is going to be very close. Needed to get to the 22. We'll see the spot. I think he's just a half yard short.
Well, the Rebels' defense is coming off the field, and the Lions' offense is also heading off the field.
That's a great stop. Prattville's sideline wants a measurement. I can understand why. That was very, very close. I am very surprised. Coach Wallace is going to call a timeout, wants to talk to the referee. I'm not sure why you wouldn't take the time to measure there. It was very, very close, but it does look like he was about a half yard short, needed to get to the 22-yard line.
Good start for the Rebels if you have just tuned us in. And we're at the Wetumpka Athletic Sports Complex. We brought our whole crew down here or east of Prattville. Why are we not at Prattville High School?
So Prattville, for the last 10, 15 years, has been working on some stadium renovations, needing to get them done. Somebody told me earlier, we've been trying to get our stadium redone since Coach Bill Clark was there. That was from 1999 to 2007. They have completely torn down the stadium, rebuilt it from scratch, spent a lot of money to just have a first-rate stadium at Prattville High School, but it is not complete. And as a result, we're here at Wetumpka. They've got an agreement to be able to use Wetumpka's field for their home games this season, and so that's where they play. That's where we are. It's about 20, 25 miles away from Prattville High School. A very nice facility here. Looks like this one's fairly new as well. A nice scoreboard in one end zone. Have a nice field house and kind of booster club area and concessions in the other end zone. Nice home side. We are actually on the visitor side. Above the stands, the Vestavia Hills coaches are below us. We're on top, outdoors. As you can probably hear, the Vestavia band made it here. They're strong, playing well. And so a nice experience, not too bad of a trip, as Prattville was just added to Region 3 this year with realignment, and every 2 years they look at the student populations at each high school and they reclassify. Prattville, because of the moving around, Prattville got attached to this Birmingham district, and so that's why we're playing Prattville in a Region 3 football game.
It was not a GPS-friendly journey from Shelby County down here. You had to get off 65. Here come the Rebels. And a lot of running room that time. A first down run by Luke Stubbs, one of the wide receivers.
And one thing you've noticed with this Vestavia offense is the number of different guys that are touching the football. Charlie Taff, he's been injured the last couple of weeks too. Had a hamstring, was kind of working through it. Was we interested to see how much he would run, but they've mixed a lot of guys in.
Taff going far side. He's got Webb, and Webb's on fire. Makes the catch and then makes the move and is inside the 40. Chase Webb having the game of his season. And you know, Chad, we go back to the very opening before the season started. He was dinged up. He was banged up. Was not healthy.
Missed that second game of the year, and when he is the fastest guy on the team when he gets going.
Now on the ground for the Rebels, inside the 40.
And that was a great job by Webb on that last play. A little Ryan Williams-esque as you go. You put on the brakes, you turn around.
Whoa, we're going there already?
Not there.
Esque.
Esque.
Okay, I got you.
Have you heard he's 17?
Rumor. Taff under duress. And finds a man. That should be complete. Back to Luke Stubbs. Tiptoeing his way for a first down, and give Charlie Taff all the credit for keeping that play alive.
Awesome play by Taff to keep it alive, drop it in, and great job by Stubbs to continue the route, continue to follow and work for your quarterback. Another well-executed play by the Rebels.
1st and 10. That was a fake to Webb, and then straight ahead, plenty of yards. Good blocking, by the way, in the offensive line.
See a number of guys rotating in and out for this Vestavia offense. That's what they're going to have to do. You can't replace Tonsmeyer with one. It's going to have to be several. Littleton in the backfield now.
Yeah, and that's Littleton on the carry. Big Bruce Littleton does not live up to his last name. Should be Bruce Biggin. That being said, he does offer a very dynamic set of skills, especially he's an H-back. He can run, he can catch it, and he's a big red zone target. 3rd and 2, and that is the end of the first quarter with the Rebels driving. First quarter down, Rebels 14, the Lions nothing. We'll be back from Wetumpka after this timeout. Apparently, Chad, we're going to keep things here for now. That's okay. We'll ad lib. And by the way, the guy who's having a heck of a game, Chase Webb. And in case we forget his name or not really sure who's making those plays, just look up here, Chad, just a tiny bit. There is a large spider web. It's almost as if Chase said here, remember
it's
my
night.
name. It's my night.
Cannot say enough about what Vestavia's done here in this first quarter. 191 yards of total offense compared to 59 yards for Prattville. Charlie Taft, 6 of 6 through the air, 118 yards. Noah Boylan's leading the way with 4 carries for 28 yards. Littleton's done a nice job, including a touchdown run on 3 carries for 13 yards. It's been a dynamic start for this Vestavia offense, done everything that they need to do to get things going on a game, again, that will likely decide. Certainly it will put you in the driver's seat to make the playoffs, the winner of this football game.
3rd and 2 with the long leg of Owen Simpson. The Rebels clearly in field goal territory, but they're thinking more.
Yeah, it looked like the chain gang got a little messed up there. I thought it was going to be 3rd and short. Then they had it set up about 3rd and 5.
Well, if you believe the scoreboard, 3rd and 2 from the 16.
Yeah, that's correct. And so we'll see, is Littleton at quarterback? Last time Littleton was at quarterback, Taft was at running back. Had a little play action to Taft, and then Littleton kept it. Now Taft's under center, Littleton at fullback.
High formation for the Rebels. And the give is to the second man through. That'll be a first down. Whit Williamson out for a couple of games. Back in today with a first down carry. And now inside the red zone are the Rebels.
Yeah, really nice to have Williamson back to add more depth to that running back position. Carson Purdy's still out. He's expected back in another week or two. But Williamson stays in at tailback.
1st and 10 from the 12. Here's the pitch. About free, 4 yards. And then a late flag, possibly a late hit on the Lions.
Yeah, that just seemed unnecessary. No reason to go in there and throw an extra hit. Jake McConnell is just going to give Vestavia more yardage. Going to take it half the distance to the goal.
That was Whit Williamson again.
So Vestavia can pick up a first down right at the, just inside the 2-yard line.
Littleton in a wildcat. Littleton calls his own number, pulls straight ahead for a Littleton touchdown. Littleton got leverage, has size, has speed, and has a touchdown.
Just another beautifully executed offensive drive for the Rebels. Did everything they needed to do, went sideline to sideline, got a little adversity, picked up a first down on a 3rd down conversion, and then Littleton once again is able to put it into the end zone.
Owen Simpson. Perfect. And the Rebels off to an incredible start. 21-0 Vestavia Hills. We'll be back from Wetumpka after this. And we are back from the Wetumpka Sports Athletic Complex. 21-0, the Rebels out in front of the Lions in a very important Region 3 showdown. I think Robert Evans and his Rebels are tired of looking at the bottom of the Region 3 standings. And again, we have talked so much about that thunderous schedule to open up. And the Rebels with a 21-0 lead, trying to climb inch by inch. And even though you have an overall record of 1-4 and 1-2, Chad has said this gloriously, that the destination for the Rebels, which has been from day one, the playoffs, it's still there. You just have to, you control your own destination. Now you got to win out.
And anytime you're in a football season, regardless of what level, if you control what happens to you, you can live with that situation. All you have to do is show up and play. Unfortunately for Vestavia, the most difficult part of its schedule is behind it. And now it's about getting momentum and getting victories.
Down by 21, a safe handoff and losing yards as the Rebels with a big hit from the linebacker spot.
That's the sophomore Haynes Bridges. And we've seen Bridges get some opportunities throughout this season. Really strong pursuit there. It looked like he was untouched as he flew into the backfield to make the tackle.
Loss of 3. 3 wide receivers to the right side and then just lifted towards the sidelines, making sure that Rigdon Didn't throw an interception, so a third down play. 3rd and 13 for the Lions.
And that time he had Emmon open. I mean, he was kind of came on a corner route, had a chance, but Rigdon just floated that one, let it go too high and fall incomplete.
All right, let's go clear nuts. Come on down. Section
3rd down play. Caught. Short of a first down, KJ Blue. So at least a little bit more operating room for the Lions, at least to get the punt off, but certainly they needed more than operating room. They needed a first down, and now Vestavia Hills up by 21 are going to get the ball in terrific field position once again.
Yeah, Grayson Bruno with another great tackle for the Rebels.
Yeah, you mentioned the injuries that the Rebels have had defensively, but Bruno has been a constant, and he has had an outstanding season. Grayson Bruno, the senior will linebacker. Second quarter action. And we'll be back after this. The Rebels lead 21-0 when we return.
At Birmingham Fastener, every day begins with our core values: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're on the lookout for talented individuals to join our sales and manufacturing teams at one of the nation's leading manufacturers. With over 15 locations nationwide, we offer endless opportunities for growth and success alongside incredible teammates. Be a part of shaping the future of American manufacturing and help us build our nation's infrastructure.
Renew and refresh. J.H. Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with...
And we are back. 21-0. The Rebels with the lead. They will go back on offense. With 10:02 remaining here in the second quarter. And the Rebels with outstanding field position as Taff rolls out right and then hits his man Webb. Webb inside the 40 and then gets to about the 37-yard line. Chase Webb is having some kind of a game here. Taff over 100 yards in the half. The Rebels using tempo. Taff calls his own number, and Charlie inside the 30 to about the 29.
That's a great job by Taff, and you can see the Rebels go with the tempo. Once you get a nice gain on first down, you pick up that first down, you can really start going. First down pass completion on the first play, then you run for about 7 yards, quickly back up the line for second down.
Littleton in motion. Pressure, and Taff goes down. That time the Lions get to Charlie.
That was a busted play there. Littleton was going out in motion. Taff wanted to throw to the left side. Looked like he wanted to throw a slip screen, but there was no receiver coming to him. So a miscommunication there for the Rebels offense and results in a loss of a couple of yards.
3rd down and 6. Chase Webb, by the way, 100 yards receiving in the first half. 4 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Handoff. Noah Boylan spins around. He will be stopped at the 30-yard line.
And I think if you call that play on 3rd down, that means you're going for it on 4th down, and there is no hesitation from Coach Evans. The Vestavia offense immediately back up the line for this 4th down and 3.
It's an easier decision because you have a 21-0 lead. You are dominating. Let's see if Taff calls his own number, although he'll have Littleton to his left, Boylan to the right. Shift by the Rebs, I like that, in unison.
Play clock's at 6.
That's the RPO, and Taff for the first down.
That's a
At
great
the 22. That's a great call. You can see that one coming from up here.
Yeah, every flow went with Noah Boylan. Taff had a play earlier where he should have given it on the dive play. He kept it on the run to the outside. That time he pulled it, called his own number up the middle for the first down.
First and 10. Taft fakes the pitch, and then it is caught off the deflection. That's Littleton inside the 5.
Sometimes it's just your night. That ball should have been picked off by Prattville. Instead, it tipped off of the Prattville defender right into Littleton's hands, and I think Littleton left a little bit early, but no flag came up.
Instead, a handoff. Noah Boylan looking for the end zone. Yes, he's in. Touchdown, Boylan. That's 4 touchdowns in the first half of this Rebels offense.
We've still got 7 minutes and 23 seconds left in the second quarter, and now Vestavia's extended its lead to 27-0 with the PAT pending.
Simpson makes it a 28-0 lead on the road, no less, for the Rebels. You got to get lucky as well as being good.
That could have easily been an interception pick six taken to the house with the way that play progressed. And if you go back to it, they very quickly got back up to the line of scrimmage. Bruce Littleton was at the fullback position. He seemed to run forward before that snap. No flag came out from the officials. Taft waited probably a second or two late to let go of that football. That allowed the Prattville secondary to roll over, get his hands on the ball, but he was not able to catch it, and it deflected into the air. Littleton caught it, got near the goal line, and then Boylan was able to finish it off for the touchdown. That takes the lead to 28-0.
My mind was telling me, and a reminder that you're on TV, not radio, my mind is saying Littleton left early. And when the flag didn't come down, it resulted in a big play, and then Boylan finishes it off with a 3-yard plunge. The Rebels up by 4 touchdowns on the road, no less. And Owen Simpson with yet another booming kick. It's been a battle of field position, and there's been no field position at all for Prattville. They have been in negative territory practically this entire first half. You got some push-ups left in you? No,
I'm done, but those guys are rocking it.
Well, they got to do 28. Gavin Rigdon and the Lions have got to come away with something here. They cannot go 3 and out down by 4 touchdowns. Rigdon is going to go long, far side, off the hands of the intended receiver. Also good coverage. The pass was intended for Brown, and Larry McSwain on the coverage.
And that's when the game changes. You asked a little earlier when it was 14-0, does Prattville have to change their game plan? They didn't then, they have to now.
Right.
And now you're so far behind, you just have to take shots, and that falls straight into Vestavia's hands.
Here's a second down play. And hit immediately after about a 2-yard gain. That's another booming hit by McSwain. So that'll set up a 3rd and 7. Larry McSwain has been in and out of the lineup this year as well. Another high snap, RPO. Rigdon is fighting to get to the 27, and that's about it.
Got whistles on the play. Let's wait and see what this call is. As it is, it's like Vestavia's going to get the football back. Legal procedure against Prattville. Whoa.
Which would push them back an additional 5 yards.
I assume Coach Evans is going to decline that penalty, take it to 4th down, and take the football back. And goodness, I mean, we're not even halfway through the second quarter. 6 minutes, 31 seconds left. I don't know if it's over yet, but if Vestavia goes down and gets another score, I think this one you can call it a night.
Man, you sound like me.
Well, I think Vestavia felt confident coming into this football game. Taft's just going to let that one go. Again, there's no reason to take any risk, and Prattville gets an incredible bounce.
The punter is Paxton Genola, benefiting from the turf. I'm usually the guy that talks about score and time and what you need. Look, there was a brief moment at Tuscaloosa, at Hillcrest rather, in Tuscaloosa, where the Rebels took their foot off that gas pedal. Hillcrest scored a couple and they made the game close. Inevitably, it was a road win for the Rebels. A 1st and 10 with a long field. And still on his feet, out to the 22-yard line, Charlie Taff.
And Callahan Minor was in the backfield, had a chance to get Taff, and just a great athletic play by Taff. And for Vestavia at this point, all you need to do is take care of the football. Your defense is playing really well. They've really got Prattville totally out of sync, and you just do not want to make a mistake here for the Rebels.
2nd and 2, a little trickery. Will it work? No. Luke Stubbs. What was supposed to happen
that shows why I'm up here in the booth, I guess, and not all that. Immediately after I say take care of the football, Vestavia goes with a kind of a reverse play. It seemed like that play didn't have time to develop. It was just a little too quick and really did not confuse this Prattville defense at all. That time McConnell was there perfectly just waiting on that play. But stay in bounds, the clock continues to run.
Under 6 minutes. Taff. Handoff. Williamson. Couple.
We got a Prattville defender down. And this is an interesting call for Coach Evans, and maybe it's an easy call, I don't know. 4th and 1. You've been able to do pretty much whatever you want to offensively, but you are in complete control of this football game. You feel confident with what your offense has been able to do, but do you take that risk of not getting it and giving just a little glimmer of hope to Prattville, or do you punt it away, play it safe, and keep playing defense? Coach Evans tends to go with the analytics. He tends to be more aggressive. We'll have to wait and see what he does here. Owen Simpson is standing there by Coach, and he's now going to send him onto the field to punt it away, which is the correct call. But Coach Evans does like to be aggressive and think through it. So
Jamari Reed was the injured Lion. Defensive end.
So Vestavia is going to leave the offense on the field, except that Owen Simpson is on the field as well. Charlie Taff and Owen Simpson both on the field. And now they'll shift into punt formation.
The punter is Simpson. And he will punt it away. A high kick, and now Owen's going to benefit from that turf as well. It's inside the 20. So one good punt deserves another.
Yeah, both those punters got really great rolls on back-to-back plays. But for Vestavia, look, you'd love to put more points on the board, but that'll work. Don't turn the ball over. Play it safe, kick it back, and let your defense continue to play. And the reality is that Prattville now has to take chances. If they just want to run the ball and try to get a few yards here or there, number one, Vestavia has been shutting them down with the way that Prattville's moving the ball. They only have 42 yards on the ground so far tonight. And then secondly, that just eats up the clock. 4 minutes, 53 seconds left here in the second quarter.
Here come the Lions. It's one of their best plays. Again, the speed of KJ Blue. Usually gets 3 to 5 carries a game from his Z position as a wide receiver because of his speed. 1st and 10 at the 39 for the Lions. Now they, Chad, might be thinking about 4 downs as well. Blue again, this time opposite way, makes a man miss, has some big yardage now, and gets inside the 40. KJ Blue, 2 outstanding runs. Well designed by Jason Wallace, first to the left side and then to the right side.
And as we were getting ready for this game, it was impressive to watch Blackman, just so big and strong in the way that he ran. But the guy that really showed out was Blue. I mean, when that number 4 got the football in the previous games, you could see just the speed and explosion that he had, and you saw it there.
Over the middle, good coverage. Oh, I thought it was good coverage. Now I see a flag. It was a little bump.
Yeah, Leighton Downey comes up limping. They're going to call holding on Downey down the field. And that's unfortunate. That ball was in between two defenders, was not going to be caught. But Downey just reached out and grabbed him when he really didn't have to. So that's going to be 10 yards and a first down for Prattville.
Under 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Rebels with a 4-touchdown lead. Rigdon and the Lions. Slip screen outside. Far side gets down to about the 20.
And this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Prattville. They needed to get something going offensively after really being shut down all game. They're very quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Ball snapped high.
As we have talked about it all game long, and the Lions fall on it, but they lose a ton of yardage. It was Christian Alexander on the previous run. I wanted to get his name in, and before you think about it, Chad, from the first play of the game, every snap has been high. Yeah, and it's one of those things, Chad, that it also can be as mental as it is physical, meaning that you're telling yourself, don't snap it high, don't snap it high, don't snap it high. And the more you say that, the more you're going to get in trouble. So now, backed up to around the 37, and then a pass that will gain some yardage back. Caught by Tanner Eamon.
And he's a good-looking fellow. I mean, he's big, strong, tall. And I was thinking this has to be a go-for-it situation for Prattville. I know it's fourth down. This is the first time you've actually put something together offensively. They're going to attempt the field goal, try to get some points. I guess the fact that it's fourth and long, this will be a 45-yard attempt.
Paxton Janola, both the punter and the kicker, from 45. Low. Did it get over? It did not. It did not. So the Rebels still pitching a shutout. And now 2.5 minutes remaining here in the quarter.
Yeah, it looked like it had enough distance, but just off to the right side and no good. And for Prattville, you finally put something together, but ultimately that bad snap did them in on that drive. And now Vestavia has 2 minutes, 34 seconds left here in this second quarter. Vestavia has all three of its time. Excuse me, has one timeout left. Prattville has all three of its left. So we'll see how aggressive the Rebels choose to be.
They start at their 20, handoff to Boylan. Started outside, cuts inside, and gets to the 25 for a gain of 5.
And I think for Vestavia, the biggest thing is you do not want Prattville to get the football back, if you can avoid it. And so, but the fact that Vestavia's run the football so well tonight, you can pick up first downs and keep the clock running.
That's Littleton on the pitch. Bruce makes the cut inside and then bowls his way to the 35 for a first down. Yeah, he has also been a big factor today. We'll be under 2 minutes. Well, Rebels in pass formation, Chad. They've got 5 wide receivers. Taff, quick hitter, caught near side by Stubbs.
1 minute, 45 seconds left here in this second quarter.
You know what they taught me over at Sanford, and again, Robert Evans played at Sanford. That's the same as a running play. Right there, does exactly what a run does. 2nd and 5, Taff spins one way. In trouble. Heads to the sidelines, is hit. Just a tick late. No flag on the play.
And he did a nice job. I will tell you, folks, these Prattville uniforms, it's dark gray with maroon numbers, and it is just really not great for the broadcasters when you're trying to see those numbers, so I couldn't catch the number there, but he did a good job holding up.
99 Elijah Brown, but I really appreciate that. You teed that one up for me.
Yeah, it's just tough to see. Anytime dark on dark just doesn't work. We're up here with no light.
I'm guessing that Thomas Edison has not made his way to our auxiliary booth as well. We are literally, boy, if we had a camera on us, the phones, both of our phones have the flashlights on so we can see what we're doing. 1:20 remaining, and a handoff. That's Noah Boylan with outstanding room, and Boylan just inside the 40.
And now for Vestavia, you pick up the tempo very quickly. You still have the one timeout. The clock will stop while the chains move. Ball's at the 41-yard line, and just like that, 1:15 left in the half.
Boylan again. You got to watch his footwork as he gets good yardage. He's got some sort of a mechanism, a timing mechanism. He's allowed to shift when he sees the field brilliantly. I think that's what I'm trying to get at, Chad. Now he's going to line up as a wide receiver, but his ability to shift and see the field is incredible. Taft now will run. And he'll be taken down at the 30 with 37 seconds remaining and counting.
Yeah, they picked up the first down. Clock will stop. That was good protection there by the offensive line. A little earlier, J.D. Livingston went out of the game. Will Gwatney was in for him, but Livingston's now back in the ball game. Clock running, 30 seconds left in the half.
Boylan gets you closer. Taken down at the 25.
Vestavia does not use a timeout. 20 seconds left and running down to 16-15. Had an injured player coming off the sideline, down to 11 seconds for the Rebels.
See if Charlie goes to the end zone. He has Webb near side, rolling, fires, and hits his man, going towards the end zone. It's a touchdown for Stubbs.
That's another play that is just indicative of how this night has gone for the Rebels. Probably should have taken a timeout with about 20 seconds left after that conversion. Had an injured player trying to come off the field, try to throw the ball down the field. As Stubbs caught the ball, there were 2 seconds left. He tried to, the options were you go down, call a timeout, and kick a field goal, or you try to fight and hope you get in the end zone. And just as everything has happened perfectly for the Rebels tonight, Stubbs does get in the end zone. Simpson finishes it off with the extra point, and we are at the half. Vestavia Hills leads 35-0.
An incredible first half for the Rebels. 5 touchdowns, everything clicking. Every cylinder is being fired up. And Robert Evans has to be fired up. And I'm going to ask you out loud to our truck as well. Do we take our timeout and then go right into the Robert Evans interview? You want to do that?
We're going to take a break. That's the plan. We've got a couple of interviews. We've got swim and dive head coach at the high school. So we've got a number of things to show you here tonight. And we are going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back. Vestavia Hills leads Prattville 35-0.
At Birmingham Fastener, every day begins with our core values: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're on the lookout for talented individuals to join our sales and manufacturing teams at one of the nation's leading manufacturers. With over 15 locations nationwide, we offer endless opportunities for growth and success alongside incredible teammates. Be a part of shaping the future of American manufacturing and help us build our nation's infrastructure.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
$35-0. The Rebels out in front of the Lions. And a very impressive first half on the road. Reminds you a lot of the game against Hillcrest. And again, we had talked so much about this gauntlet of a schedule that Robert Evans put together. Rebel Nation, you probably got a little afraid when you saw 0-2, but then Chad mentioned, I love the way you did that during the pregame show, that where the teams are that are ranked, and then you got to throw in Hewitt with a very tough, heartbreaking loss at home by the Rebels, and then you go to another top 5 team in Thompson. All in all, when you put that all in one big bowl, and you mix it up and you come out and it looks like this. Vestavia Hills, you control your destiny.
Yeah, and that's what the Rebels have wanted all season long. We're just going to take some time here at halftime to kind of talk through where the Rebels are, what the season looks like, what lies ahead for Vestavia. So let's start with the top 10 in high school football. Vestavia started the season, different polls you looked at, either 8 or 9, kind of a top 10 team, but how did they fare? The current top 10, Central Phoenix City is number 1. They received all 18 first-place votes. They're defending state champions. They're the team. It's Class 7A that's expected to win it all. The team we've seen, number 2, Auburn, 5-0. Vestavia obviously went to Auburn, had a very difficult loss. That Central Phoenix City and Auburn play tonight. They're both undefeated. Number 1 versus number 2 in the state of Alabama. We'll check a score a little bit later to see where that is. That game is huge, obviously. A lot of implications, but that was a loss for Vestavia versus number 2 Auburn. They also went to Carver Montgomery to start the season. That's in the Crampton Bowl. Carver Montgomery came into this weekend 5-0. They're ranked number 3 in the state. They lost last night to number 9 Enterprise, 17-14. Really had just an off night offensively. A team that was averaging 37 points a game just didn't get it together, and so they lost that game, their first loss of the season. So Carver Montgomery, number 3, moves to 5-1. 2 weeks ago, before the off week, Vestavia lost to perennial power Thompson. Thompson's 4-2, but that's a game where you look at the stats and you look at what the Rebels did. They outgained Thompson. They held Trent Seymour to 2 of 8 passing, 1 interception, just controlled the game, but ultimately it was the interceptions. Had a pick 6 on a screen pass where Thompson ran it back. Had a ball where you were going to go in. At a minimum, you get a field goal. Instead, you have a ball ripped out, and Antonio Fegan's just the outstanding quarterback. A Power 5 superstar defender rips the ball out, takes it back to the house. And then late in the game, you're trying to make something happen. You throw a ball down the field. It's another pick 6. So 21 of Thompson's 38 points were scored off of turnovers. And so that happened. And then you look, Hewitt Trustful, number 5 in the state. They've only lost 1 game to Hoover, 8-7. Hoover's sitting at number 7. They actually lost to Parker last week, and so Vestavia still has Hoover sitting on the schedule. So you look at the schedule, it was just brutal. 4 out of the top 5 teams you've played, you lost them, but this is a good Vestavia football team. We've been trying to say it. You could see it. For us, we're here every week. Coach Evans believed it, but he said, I need something really, really positive to happen to get that momentum going, to get everything, make our kids realize everything was right. And unfortunately what happened was you lost William Tonsmeyer, you lost Cross Tonsmeyer, you lost Jacob Watson. So he needed this game to be a big performance, and so far it has.
When you have injuries, and every sport and every team has them, you look in the locker room and you basically say next man up. And in this case, you have Noah Boylan, who has run exceptionally well. You have Grayson Bruno, who has played well defensively. And that shows the spirit of the team, not just we're a one-man band. We're not a one-team Tonsmeyer dominating club at all. We've got a lot of guys in this locker room. Remember after the heartbreaking loss to Hewitt, and we asked Robert Evans, what was your message? He didn't even talk about the game. He said, I love you guys. We're a team. I'm proud of your effort. It's the mind game, and he plays it very well.
And Coach Evans believes in this team. He believes that positive things are coming. And I had a chance to talk to him a little bit earlier this week, talk about those things, kind of where he sees the team, where they are at the midway point, and he echoed a lot of those things. And right now we're going to go to that interview with Coach Evans from earlier this week.
At Birmingham Fastener, every day begins with our core values: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're on the lookout for talented individuals to join our sales and manufacturing teams at one of the nation's leading manufacturers. With over 15 locations nationwide, we offer endless opportunities for growth and success alongside incredible teammates. Be a part of shaping the future of American manufacturing and help us build our nation's infrastructure.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Alabama, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
Welcome back to halftime of this Class 7A Region 3 matchup. We are thrilled to be joined by the Vestavia Hills High School head swim and dive coach, Connor Campbell. Coach, thank you for joining us and
thank you
for being here. You've started out, this is your first year as head coach. How's it going so far?
It's gone great. So actually last night we had our swim meet at the Crosswalks downtown, and the boys and girls both got first place, which is the first time that they both did it this season. So that was good. So our boys have done really well. They've gotten first place in every meet so far, first 3 meets of the season, so we're looking good. And our girls have gotten tough second against Spain Park every single time, but last night we really got them with diving. So it was great to see them improve.
Very cool. We'll talk about, for those that may not know swimming, talk about swimming and diving here in the Birmingham area and throughout the state of Alabama.
Yeah, so around here it's not as big as it is in other places of the country. So usually toward the coast, you have a lot better swimmers. They're always out on the water. So around here, it's really grown the past 10 years. So now we have about 48 athletes that are swimming and diving together. And a couple of years ago, that was a lot smaller, so like 30. And we've progressed up to our 48, what we have now. And we've had a bunch of athletes go on and swim in colleges such as Auburn, Alabama, local teams. And it's been really good just to see the improvement of the whole state as Alabama improving for swimming.
Well, you competed at Auburn as well, and swimming's one of those sports. You have a high school season here in the fall, but it's really a year-round sport with club, and your athletes are really competing all year round.
Oh yeah. So what we usually say, you miss one day at practice, that puts you 2 days behind. So for swimming and diving, it really is just continuously every single day, even over holidays, every weekend. They could have 2-a-days. So it's just really, it's nonstop. And it's hard on the athletes because it really is just seeing them improve all the time. And in other sports, you can have a really good season, and then the next season, it just doesn't go as well. So swimming is progression of, you may drop 5 seconds on the 50 free, and for the next 5 years, you drop 0.1, just really minimal things. So it's really, you have to commit yourself for however many years just to get to that level.
So let's talk about the rest of the season. You're about at the midway point. You got a couple extra meets, and then the state championships you're building up to. They take place in November.
Yeah, so it's the weekend right before Thanksgiving, so it is hard just to have all our athletes like don't eat too much food yet. So it really is just trying, since August they've been going hard in their club sport, and then also sharing them with swim practice at Wald Park, what we've been doing Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So it really is just a balance of everything, August straight to November 22nd and 23rd in Huntsville.
Well, congratulations on a great start to the season. We look forward to following you the rest of the year, see how it goes. That's Vestavia Hills swim and dive coach Connor Campbell. We'll be right back.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
At Birmingham Fastener, every day begins with our core values: integrity, grit, and accountability. We're on the lookout for talented individuals to join our sales and manufacturing teams at one of the nation's leading manufacturers. With over 15 locations nationwide, we offer endless opportunities for growth and success alongside incredible teammates. be a part of shaping the future of American manufacturing, and help us build our nation's infrastructure.
Renew and refresh. JH Outback focuses on strengthening family bonds with spouses, parents, and children to help in spiritual growth and life purpose. Join us for a fun-filled weekend together in an undistracted environment, enjoying the outdoors with great food, entertainment, and live music. JH Outback. Renew and refresh.
We're here with head coach Robert Evans as we get close to kickoff of the game here tonight. Coach, you're at the midway point of the season, sitting at 1-4. You've played what's probably the most difficult schedule in the state of Alabama.
Right.
I know you're not thrilled with the record, but you've had a couple of close calls. And just talk about the first half of the season so far.
Yeah, well, if you could have told me win one game at the halfway point, I would have said we need to win the Hillcrest game. And so we won the game that we needed to in order to control our destiny. And obviously, really disappointed with the way the Trustful and Thompson game ended, but we've gotten better, and our young kids, especially Charlie, has kind of emerged, and our sophomores aren't playing like sophomores at the halfway point, which is a good sign. But we control our destiny, and that's always the point. You just want to have hope, and we have hope, and we're getting to the point of the schedule where we're playing teams that we're as good or better than. And we really need to try to kind of ramp up the pace and try to take care of business the next couple of weeks and make a playoff push.
Coming into the season, the one thing you talked about being worried about was depth.
Yeah.
That's really been hurt even more by injuries. You had an off week. I know that was probably welcome to hopefully get a couple of guys back, but the injuries and the depth is still a problem.
Yeah, it is. And I've never, this is probably my 20-something year doing this. I've never had a season like this, and we have some significant injuries. And they aren't excuses, and you always deal with this in this sport, but the amount of impactful players that we have, probably 3 of our top 4 to 5 players on our roster are out for the season. And so it's the next man up. But we've had the Nick Williams and the Daniel Richardsons of the world who were playing on Monday nights a month ago, and now they're playing on Friday nights and playing pivotal roles. And that's one of the things about Vestavia that's good. We're a large program, and so we do have numbers. We probably don't have the quality of depth of the top tier 7A teams, but we have guys that are smart, tough football players that'll give it their best, and we need our other seniors to emerge.
When you first took this job 3 years ago, you said you wanted Vestavia Hills High School to be playing meaningful football in October and into November, and ultimately here you control your own destiny. If you win the next 3 games, you're likely in the playoffs, and that starts with this Prattville game.
Yes, and Prattville's much improved, and I think Coach Wallace has done a good job. You know, they're a proud program, and I'd say the difference is they probably have obviously more prospects than we do. I think their running back's outstanding, but they have a history and a lineage in the last couple decades of winning championships, and they're trying to get back to that. We're trying to get back to that. Ours is a little bit further in the past, obviously, but you know, both teams know the stakes, and but you know, that's why you kind of do what you do to get to this point of the year. I wish we were healthier, and I hope Charlie can survive his strain. But I do think that this will be a really competitive game, and I've got an immense amount of respect for their program and their tradition, and we'll have to play well to win.
Well, we look forward to watching it, and we appreciate you joining us and look forward to the rest of the season. That's Vestavia Hills head coach Robert Evans.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
Vestavia Hills out in front of Prattville.
And it's really been everything that you could hope for Vestavia in this first half. Easily the best first half they played all season, and it's a you felt that this was in this team, but you also knew that this was a big-time opponent tonight, a team that is 4-1 coming in on the season. They had not played the type of schedule that Vestavia had played so far, but it was a real toss-up. 4-1 versus 1-4, and do you really favor the 1-4 team? A lot of people did. I think Coach Evans felt very confident about what his team could accomplish. But I don't know if he could have anticipated 35-0 against a proud Prattville High School team. Just to go back, it's for folks that maybe don't know, this is a team that in the 2000s, they were the program. They and Hoover went back and forth and just had some absolute battles. But Prattville High School, they won a state championship in 1984, and then Bill Clark. Then they went on a little drought, and Bill Clark was hired in 1999. Obviously, Bill Clark, you know him mostly for what he did at UAB. Just had an incredible career in resuscitating that program. But under Bill Clark, he started in 1999, and you just saw a gradual increase. He was able to implement his program, do the things that he wanted to do. 7-3 in 99, 9-2 in 2000, then 12-1, 12-2, 12-1, 13-1, 11-1, before going 15-0 in 2006 and winning the state championship.
Beating Hoover, right?
Beating Hoover.
Stopping the Hoover.
15-0 again in 2007. Undefeated, winning a state championship, 30-0. Then Jamie DeBose takes over as Coach Clark left and went to South Alabama as a defensive coordinator before going to Jacksonville State as the head coach, and then for 1 year, and then to UAB. But Jamie DeBose comes in, and he picked up right where Coach Clark left off. They won a state championship in 2008. He was there 4 seasons. Went 2009, 2010. Then he won a state championship again in 2011. And since then, the program's fallen off a little bit. I mean, they were there for a little bit, but they have not had that level of success since that time. So, but this is a very tradition-rich program at Prattville High School. Trying to get that going again. As we mentioned, their stadium, they're completely redone and rebuilt, spent millions of dollars redoing their stadium. And so that's why they're playing here at Wetumpka. They're hoping that the stadium will be ready for the last home game of the season so they can have senior night in their brand new stadium. But for Prattville, this was a big game as well after starting off 4-0 and losing last week to Hoover. Really got beat up 40-6, and now here tonight, 35-0. So when you look at it in their last 6 quarters of football, they're down. They've lost 75-6. And for Vestavia now, look, you want to keep the pedal on the metal, keep going, trying to put this game away quickly, and then you can get some guys in there and try to keep everybody fresh.
We talked about the running of Noah Boylan, and we talked about the pass catching of Chase Webb. Webb had 100 yards. But until I looked at our stats, I didn't realize this. Charlie was 10 for 10. He had a Jared Goff game for the Rebels in the first half. Taft was 10 for 10, 182 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
It's such a great job of really fighting back after, again, he went out injured in the 4th quarter of that game 2 weeks ago. But just to come back and have the confidence, you've seen so much growth. It's hard to forget, or it's easy to forget that Taft is just a sophomore. He only has 5 games of starting quarterback experience at the high school level, but the amount that he's grown between week 1 to now to this 6th game of the season has been incredible. Are you still going to make mistakes as a young quarterback? Absolutely, but he's really looked sharp here tonight, and the score is a result of the way he's played.
With all due respect to a guy who's probably going to sign at a Power 5 in the SEC, Trent Seaborn of Thompson. Here's the difference. They're both sophomores. Taft and Seaborn are sophomores, but Seaborn has over 30 starts under his belt, and that is experience that you cannot replicate. And we were talking about this earlier when Taft went against some of the other quarterbacks, especially the Auburn quarterback, who might not be a highlight player, but the guy never makes mistakes. And in this case, Charlie ran the offense to perfection in the first half. He tucked it when he needed to. He threw it when he needed to. Called his own name when he needed to. He found Littleton a couple of times. And it's interesting because there's so much talk, rightfully so. I don't want the Thompson and Alabaster people to come knocking on my door. Trent Seaborn is a Power 5, everyone wants him quarterback. Seaborn and Taft are sophomores. Seaborn led his club to a state championship as an 8th grader. So he's been starting 8th, 9th, and now 10th. And that puts him in big games and 30-plus starts. And for Taff, it's start number 6. Imagine where Taff is going to be when he gets next year in double digits in terms of his starts. And some of these decisions that have been perfect tonight, but maybe lacked against the bigger clubs. You know, and this is a very exciting team when we look at, after some of the injuries, Chad, we've talked with Robert Evans, and I've talked with you about it, there are a lot of contributing sophomores.
Yeah, and that's important. It's guys that maybe you didn't think were going to play, especially on the defensive side, and they've had to come in and really take advantage of those opportunities. Guys that, again, as Coach Evans described it, they thought they were going to play on Mondays, and now they're playing on Fridays. And that's just the way that things are, the way it's kind of worked out for Vestavia. But look, I heard this saying a long time ago. I don't know where it came from, but the way you get better at football is by playing football. And that's the real medicine of how you improve is to go out on the field and play the game, understand the speed, because that's one thing you noticed earliest for some of these younger guys is as plays were starting to happen, you cannot replicate the speed of the game in practice. You can do everything you can try, but until you get out there and it really, the lights come on a Friday night and it's happening, you don't appreciate how much faster it is from the freshman to the JV level to the varsity level, and it's real. It's the same way when you go from high school to college to the pros. The speed is so much faster no matter how good, how fast you might be, and that's kind of what took hold. It didn't help that you had this crazy good schedule and the speed was even faster than maybe you would imagine, but it's really been impressive. So we've seen him develop right before our very eyes, and it's been very impressive, kind of the work that he's done and how everything's gone. It's been fun to watch this team. Again, we talked about it. Despite the record, it's a team that has a lot of confidence, believes in itself, believes it has a lot of good opportunities, and I think that's certainly the case as you look and continue to fight forward.
You saw the difference when William Tonsemeyer was back in after missing the first couple of games, and he got back in, and that gave the offense a boost. But as you mentioned, he and his brother are out indefinitely along with Jacob Watson. And other guys, you cannot replace William Tonsemeyer with one. So Noah Boylan, who we saw glimpses of during that exhibition game that we called early, that preseason game against Pell City. Whit Williamson has run. I'll tell you another guy who's taken a step forward. Bruce Littleton has been a big factor tonight.
He's been outstanding. He's a guy they're going to have to use, especially in that Wildcat spot. I want to give you real quickly a couple scores in the region. Oak Mountain, Hoover. Hoover's up 14-3 over Oak Mountain at the half. Thompson is leading Trustful 8-0 at the half. Hillcrest Tuscaloosa is leading Tuscaloosa County 14-7 late in the second quarter, and at the half, Auburn is leading Central Phoenix City 21-20.
I was talking to my correspondent Jeff Allison, and that's a pretty good ticket to have in high school football on a Friday night. So remember, the Rebels will be kicking off here. Prattville won the coin toss, elected to defer, and now the Lions and Gavin Rigdon will start on offense, down by 35 points. Very, very little on the ground for Tristan Blackman, who is and can be a difference maker, but he has been bottled up, and really the score has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, Blackman only has 3 carries. Now it's 3 carries for 4 yards, which speaks to how well Vestavia has played, but if you're Prattville coming into the game, I think you wanted him over 20 carries to really feel like you had a good night. He's not come anywhere close.
Oh. And he is met for a loss immediately on the first play of the third quarter. That's a loss of 5.
Was that Rush Harper on that stop? I mean, he flew into the backfield to make that tackle.
Already a negative play for the Lions to open up. Blackman on the right side of the offense, out to about the 22. Third down and long for the Lions.
And this is just more of the same for Prattville. The one thing you didn't want to do, we talked about they needing to run the ball and kind of keep the plays, keep drives alive, pick up first downs, and they just haven't been able to do that at all.
See if the Rebels put some pressure. They'll rush 4, far side throw, caught, and a run that's Blue in the open. Blue inside the 20, headed towards the end zone. He is gone. KJ Blue, the speed we saw on tape. Huge play for the Lions as they finally get on the scoreboard.
It was a third and long. They have had no success whatsoever on third down in the first half. They were 0 for 5 in the first half, and then they convert there. That's their first third down conversion of the game, and it's a long one for the touchdown. It was a cover 2 look for Vestavia. Good job of fitting that ball right over the top of the corner in front of the safety, right where you have to throw it, and then just Blue using his speed and athleticism to cut across the field into the end zone.
Janola for the 7th point. 35-7, Vestavia Hills over Prattville. We'll be back during the third quarter.
Lifeline's ministry is necessary because God has ultimately called the body of Christ to manifest the gospel to vulnerable children. We see it beginning in the Old Testament in the Pentateuch. God continues to renew that call over and over and over again to the people. Lifeline, in its role, comes alongside the church with that very narrow specialization to allow the church to live out the mission that the church has been given to proclaim the gospel through orphan care.
Carson Mann and Chase Webb back to receive the kickoff. Chad Pilcher was thinking about the possibility of an onside kick. Instead, it'll be a touchback. And I get where you're going.
Look, for Prattville, they're going to have to take some chances in this ballgame. That's why you chunk one down the field on third down. Even though you haven't had any success whatsoever in the pass game, they took a shot. They kick it deep, and now for Vestavia, you're hoping you can pick up right where you left off in that first half, continue to control the ball game, and if you can, even better, if you can eat up the clock and continue running the football on the ground.
1st and 10 at the 20. Boylan to the 27. Picks up 7 yards on the carry.
And talk about a sophomore really learning and understanding the play. That time J.D. Livingston pulled around from his guard spot. He didn't have to touch anybody because there was no one there, but Boylan did a great job of just staying on his back hip and following around, and they do it here again.
That's a first down run for Boylan and more over the 40 before he's taken down. And now slow to get up. Yeah, that's shoulder. He is coming out. Noah's coming out. Boylan is.
Yeah, that time it was Landon Page who pulled around, and Boylan followed him. 2 weeks ago he hurt his shoulder. Looks like that's the same one.
And he is in some pain. So the handoff over the 50. Now we're going to see a bunch of Whit Williamson. So, in essence, Vestavia Hills is at RB3. RB1 is out indefinitely. The guy who took over for him just came out with a shoulder issue.
And don't forget, Carson Purdy, who started the season as the backup, is also out.
That's right.
And Vestavia hoping to get him back in the next couple of weeks.
First down and 10 for the Rebels. Under 9 minutes remaining, third quarter. Man in motion. Littleton.
I like how Vestavia's used Littleton tonight. Obviously, they put him in the. We've seen him run it a number of times just from kind of a slot back type play. and then they put him in the Wildcat as the quarterback spot, but they've done it by leaving Taff in the game. So it's Littleton at quarterback, Taff as the running back. You have to think there's some kind of pass option off of that as well.
Fake to Littleton. Chase Webb over 100 yards makes the catch.
And for Vestavia, you hope this is a coming out party tonight for Chase Webb. That's his 5th catch of the night, and he's just looked outstanding, not only catching the football, but runs after the catch. There's never been a doubt about the speed. It's been, let's make sure we catch it and what can you do afterwards, and he showed up big tonight.
By the way, Noah Boylan has come from out of the tent. He has his helmet in his hand. That's a good sign. Littleton looking for some blockers. Littleton in open field and inside the 30.
And J.D. Livingston, again, awesome job of pulling around and leading the way for Littleton to pick up that first down.
You love having seniors on your offensive line, don't you? A guy like J.D. Livingston. Now the rest of the guys, you got Landon Page, a senior, but you got some youngsters in there. Stiles, a sophomore. Boylan, the junior. Tucker, a junior. Chad, do you agree with me that if Noah's got his helmet in his hand, that's a good sign?
Certainly. I mean, again, look, it looks like he's obviously got a shoulder issue that keeps flaring up, and I think we've seen Boylan leading the way, rushing. He has 12 carries, 93 yards. I'm sure he'd love to get 7 more, go over that 100 mark. But Williamson has been out several weeks. It's a really good opportunity to get him some carries as well. And eventually, look, they just keep putting new guys in there, and the guys keep performing, but at some point, depth does become a problem. So if you can rest Boylan and potentially not have to use him anymore, I'm sure you'd love to do that. He's actually standing there on the sideline talking to William Tonsmeyer right now, who's in a cast over that right arm.
Handoff. Williamson. First down for the Rebels. Trying to get that touchdown back. The Lions just scored on a long one. Williamson inside the 20. On that right side. And again, J.D. Livingston comes out of the pile as the lead blocker.
You feel like Vestavia's almost run the same exact play every other play on this drive, and they're getting 5, 6, 7 yards on those carries, whether it's Boylan, Williamson, or Littleton carrying the football. Just a great job in the running game for Vestavia. 39 carries for 216 yards on the ground.
3rd and 1. High formation with Littleton, the lead back, and this is Littleton. And it appears that he has enough for a first down. He needed just one.
Yeah, he didn't get much, but he didn't need much. We'll see where they spot this ball. Looks like he picked it up just by the nose of the football, and they're going to move the chains.
Well, it wasn't going to matter because Robert Evans was going to go for it anyways with a
That's right.
35-7 lead, but
well, and
aesthetic value.
The best part of this is not only are you moving the ball up and down the field, that clock is running. Now it's under 6 minutes to go, 5 minutes, 40 seconds, and running. And you see the tempo has really slowed down for Vestavia. You want points, but you want that clock just to run.
Coach Evans told us during the week he wants to control the tempo early and often, so this way he can dictate in the 3rd quarter. And a rush up the middle.
That takes Littleton over 50 yards for the night. 2 touchdowns already.
The Rebels knocking on the door. Littleton over the right side. This time the Lions stack him up. That being said, the Rebels have a 2nd down. They need 1. They got first down, Chad. Yep, first down and goal at the 8. Well, pick your poison right now. There are weapons all over this field. Williamson, the running back. He gets it. He's inside the 5 and then taken down at around the 2 on the RPO.
You saw Taft there. He held on to that football till the last minute, and then once he read the defense, he gave it to Williamson, and Williamson gets down to the 2, and then he comes out. Yep. He's like, oh, it was so close.
And you see Big Bruce Littleton. Direct snap to Littleton. Littleton trying to pull his way in. He'll come up short. 4 Lions met Big Bruce.
Picked up about a yard, a little over a yard, gets inside the 1. So it's 3rd down, and that's one thing there. It's interesting when Taft stays in the game. Taft was in the game. He called the snap, but Littleton was the one behind the center. Grayson Bruno was in on that play as well. He'll now come out.
Whit Williamson back in.
Eli Rooks checks in as well. Vestavia has what is probably 2 plays to pick up this 1 yard. And they'll take a timeout to talk it over.
So we are in the 3rd quarter with the Rebels at the 1-yard line. Just over 3 minutes remaining here. The Rebels jumped out to a 35-0 lead. Prattville on a long touchdown to their dynamic wide receiver, KJ Blue. And the Rebels are trying to answer. And it has been a revolving door at running back for Robert Evans and Josh Franklin. Some of it precipitated by injuries. Some of it not, because you got some depth back there. Chad, give me a play. 3rd down and 1. Taft on the keeper.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're going to see Littleton up the middle again, but they've run him so many times. You're at the point now where if you did some kind of fake and went to the outside, it would probably be wide open. But I think if you're the coach, the way this game's going, look, I want to see if my offensive line can win this play. Can we get the push? Can we be able to force it in the end zone again? I think you have 2 plays to pick up this 1 yard. You got to imagine coach is going to go for it. Taft behind center in the shotgun.
Taft pulls his own number. That's an easy touchdown for Charlie. He was in the end zone before somebody got a hand on him. And the Rebels have their 6th touchdown.
We got a Prattville defender down. We sound like a broken record tonight, but cannot say enough about this Vestavia team. Just the gauntlet they went through the first half of the season. That takes its toll on you physically, and we've seen that because of the injuries, but that takes its toll on you mentally. And the challenge that is to coaches and to 15 to 18-year-old kids to keep fighting and really believe that you're good enough and that you can win and that you can compete against these teams. That's hard. And that's why this is so huge tonight, to come out and really make a statement in this ballgame. Like, hey, I don't care what the record is. We're coming, and we can play, and we can continue to fight in this region. And this is a big-time probably a wake-up call to the others in the region if they didn't have it already, right? That Hewitt game that Vestavia had and let slip out of its hands. The Thompson game where it fought tooth and nail until the turnovers just got them. It's competed with these teams, and now it's got a big-time victory that's going to put it in the driver's seat for a playoff spot.
Owen Simpson might need to get iced down, at least from the knees down, as this is yet another PAT, and the Rebels with a 42-7 lead. Our crew is down here in Wetumpka at the Wetumpka Athletic Sports Complex. We'll be back from the 3rd quarter with the Vestavia Hills Rebels dominating tonight against Prattville. 42-7, Vestavia Hills leading Prattville. See, that break that we took, that was for us, Chad. That's called our water break, okay? That doesn't mean we're going to a commercial. It just means we need to catch our own breath.
It's been a lot. Very impressive performance by Vestavia. Can't say enough about Owen Simpson. Every kick he's had has been a touchback. The last one just barely got in, but that one easily halfway through the end zone. He's going to make a very nice kicker for some college program next year.
Well, you see that one for me. I talked to him at the Hillcrest game, and he said definitely Sanford, UAB on the radar. Possibility to stay close to home.
I think as the season goes along, look, kickers are hard to come by. Good kickers are hard to come by, and he is certainly that. And so I think as this season goes on and he continues to produce, you're going to see more and more interest going forward. But look, the reality is college recruiting has changed so much at the high school level because of the transfer portal and NIL and all that. It's just a different game than it was not only when I played, but even five years ago.
Brown on the reception. He's got a first down. Donovan Brown on the reception.
So now Prattville's going to hurry up, go a lot faster than they have most of the night.
Nice deflection. Beautifully played. Owen Wilbanks.
Yeah, Owen Wilbanks read that from the get-go. Thought he might have a chance to pick that one and take it to the house, but did a good job of getting his hand in there and knocking it down.
Second down and 10 after the deflection and the incomplete pass.
A perfect defensive call.
Kristen Blackman just has not been able to get any space at all tonight.
Well, and that was a great job by Coach Robert Evans, defense coordinator Chad Merrill. Vestavia showed 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, but they brought a linebacker on a run blitz exactly where that play went. They brought it from the defensive left side, and that's exactly where the carry went. And so the Vestavia defender met the Prattville running back in the backfield.
This is a 3rd and 8. Plays right into the Rebels' defensive scheme because this has got to go in the air. Empty backfield. Rebels showing pressure, but they back off. Whistle. That play is blown dead, unfortunately, for the Rebels. William Plaisance was smelling a pick 6.
And you say Plaisance is a D lineman. Why is he back there? Vestavia went with the zone blitz. They showed pressure. It looked like 6 guys were going to go. And at the last minute, 3 of them backed out. One of those was Plaisance. And he was in the perfect spot, right where the ball went. But unfortunately, a false start by Prattville.
So the play was blown dead before it even
Before the snap. No play.
began. 3rd and now 13. Pressure shown, and this time they are coming, and yet another flag.
This time they're going to say timeout Vestavia.
I should have said another whistle. I gambled. Less than a minute remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And a Picasso painted right now by Robert Evans and his Vestavia Hills Rebels. 42-7 advantage over a team that came in 2-1 in the region, 4-1 overall.
And this isn't a fluke. Again, this score is not a fluke. This is Vestavia's just been easily the better team tonight. They've come out, they've dominated from the get-go. And you talk about first play of the ball game. Get it to Chase Webb for a 40-some-odd yard gain. Go right back to him on the ground, and then a couple plays later, you're in the end zone, and after that, Vestavia's just off to the races. Looking to get a stop here and get the ball back once again.
Third and 13 for the Prattville Lions. A rollout, and then just making sure he didn't get tackled for a loss. Rigdon throws it down. That'll set up a 4th and a punt. The blue and red of the Rebels. Rebel Nation right there. It's still early, Chad. I say in terms of, we usually thank our crew and our camera people, but these camera people are students and they're just doing an incredible job again tonight. Fair catch. Little bump and run.
Flag comes out.
Charlie Taff called for the fair catch. There was some connection. I mean, we just saw the band and the dancers and these great shots that we've had tonight, all run by Vestavia Hills students.
And they're in the broadcasting class of Miss Abby Gillette, who also teaches English. And earlier today, Abby was named as the Vestavia Hills High School Teacher of the Year. And we learned that right before the game, and so we are so happy and proud and excited for her. It's so well-deserved. She does an awesome job, again, not just with the English class, but also teaching these broadcasting kids, and you're seeing the quality of her teaching on this screen every single night, so congratulations to Abby for being named the Vestavia Hills High School Teacher of the Year.
And off for the Rebels, and a lot of running room over the 50, over the 40, inside the 30. Carson Mann, earlier this year, ran a kickoff back for a touchdown. He does have tremendous speed, not a major part of the offense, but that could be changing. 29 a gain that time for a man of a couple. Remember, we haven't seen Boylan since a shoulder injury. What do we say, Chad? Next man up. And that will be the end of the third quarter. So 12 minutes remaining here in Wetumpka, where the Rebels are way out in front of the Prattville Lions by a score of 42-7. So Miss Gillette, Abby Gillette, and the Vestavia Hills Teacher of the Year and her crew are all coming back to Wetumpka after this time out, as you're watching us on the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
You have to pay taxes. Ugh. It's just part of life. In the great state of Alabama, we have an awesome thing in our tax code called the Alabama Accountability Act, which allows you to redirect up to 100% of your state taxes to Scholarship for Kids, a scholarship granting organization that benefits partner schools like Restoration Academy. It's a no-brainer. Use your tax money for something that will make a huge impact at no cost to you. For more information, go to choosera.org.
42-7 back here in Wetumpka. Our broadcast partner Chad Belcher noticing that even though they're down by 35 points, they're still swag surfing here at the complex.
With the light show.
Carson Mann to the 25 and more. Inside the 5. Carson trying to be the man. See if they give it a man to finish things off. I mean, this has primarily been his drive. One more time for Carson Mann, trying to squeeze through, but he'll be down at around the 2.
Bryce LeMaster's coming to the ball game at quarterback. And I hope they give it to Mann again. He's had a really nice drive here. The important thing for Vestavia, you want to use that entire play clock. Sitting at 30 right now, 11 minutes and 10 seconds left in this ball game. And for Vestavia, you want that clock to run.
Ball spotted at the 2-second tip. LeMaster, the quarterback, gives it to Carson Mann, and Mann will get in the end zone for another Rebel touchdown. That was his drive. Remember, Chad, he's listed as the starting Z wide receiver, showing that he can run the ball out of the backfield. Simpson pummels it through. 49-7. Vestavia Hills out in front. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back from Wetumpka as you're watching us on the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
Greatness awaits for the bold, the visionary, and those ready to take their shot. Here, we don't chase success, we define it. The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
(49-7), Vestavia Hills out in front of Prattville. Nearly 500 yards of offense for the Rebels. And still 10.5 minutes remain. Beautiful October evening here in the South. And a touchback. Chad's, my partner Chad Pilcher, trying to tell me, hey, I got you something for the fall or something when the weather gets cool. I'm like, Chad, you only have 2 seasons down here, hot and cold. It runs out after that. I mean, you know, if we weren't on TV, I'd be in shorts and Crocs the rest of the way.
To give some context for what Prattville's done so far this year, they came in averaging 29.2 points per game on the season. They've only scored 7. They came in only giving up 23.6 points per game. They've obviously given up 49 tonight. The most they have given up all season was 40 2 weeks ago versus Hoover. And Vestavia's just blown that out here tonight.
Speaking of Hoover, nice segue there. It's in a couple of weeks. We know that. That'll be at the Hoover Met. But coming up for the Rebels, back on the road again next week before coming back to Thompson Reynolds Stadium.
Yeah, and Hoover's a tough team to really figure out. They have outstanding talent. They come in 4-2, but they're currently only leading Oak Mountain 14-3. That's a game you thought they might handle a little bit better. They lost last week to Parker.
Long one towards Blue. Incomplete. And good coverage by Larry McSwain. Look, we all know about the situation that happened at Hoover prior to the season. I've been in locker rooms for almost 4 decades, and it's impossible to not think about it and not talk about it. They had to make a coaching change just prior to the season. You know, my people that I know, Jeff Allison has seen them on a couple occasions. He said they are extremely talented, explosive offensively, but they're going with a coach that they didn't have any idea that would be their head coach, and it came just prior to the season. And you could take any program and disrupt a great program if you're going to make that kind of a change. Well, I mean, forced to make that kind of a change, I should say, just prior to your season start.
Yeah, let me say first, great pressure in the backfield. Haynes Bridges and Logan Richter did a great job of getting back. Yeah, Drew Gilmore obviously came in from Clay Chalkville. That went awry, and he's no longer there. Coach Chip English has taken over that program, and they're just up and down. It's a matter of how well they play on any given night. And you don't want to look ahead for Vestavia, but obviously, if you look at this schedule, this game will be over in just under 9 minutes. Vestavia will move to 2-4, 2-2 in the region. That will put them in the top 4 for the playoff picture. Then, as you said, at Oak Mountain, and that's not a gimme game. That's a game Oak Mountain's 3-2. Again, they're currently battling with Hoover, and they have a very talented quarterback. They have some athletes on that football team, so you're going to have to show up and play. Tuscaloosa County's having a tough go of it. They have not won a region game, really getting beat up tonight by Hillcrest. And then it's at Hoover, and look, regardless, the Vestavia Hoover matchups are always battles.
Nice tackle by the Lions.
That was Garner Leak on the carry for the Rebels. As some new, fresh bodies get an opportunity here to play in this ballgame.
Yeah, they are going deep into the playbook and the depth chart. And then breaking over the right side. Good burst of speed for Garner Leak. Leak is also a wide receiver, but like Carson Mann, working out of the backfield. Now, look ahead one more time. Noah Boylan, who had an outstanding first half, hurt his shoulder, has not returned. You don't need him with this large deficit, but you hope that he's okay moving forward. And that's why it's so important to have this kind of depth.
Jackson Deal did a nice job there on the offensive line to pull it around.
Under 7 minutes remaining.
Hayes Hudson in at wide receiver. Also Taylon Turner on the other side. So Vestavia's going to let this clock run all the way down. Play clock is at 3, 2, 1, and the Rebels call a timeout.
And with a 4th down and 5, the punting team will come on. The Rebels out in front of the Lions, 49-7. Monstrous first quarter. Big lead into the break. Lions did score on their first possession in the 3rd quarter, but the Rebels have come back with a pair of touchdowns and lead 49-7.
And the game of the night in Class 7A football. 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Auburn leading Central Phoenix City 31-27. That's number 2 Auburn versus number 1 Phoenix City.
Simpson to punt. High. Blasting kick. And it bounces in the end zone. My goodness. He has electricity in his leg. And he's a good kid, good family. And again, we talked him down at Hillcrest. Yeah, I want to go to college. I want to see what the locals, either a Blazer or a Bulldog, and there's more options. And the more tape you see on him, those offers might increase as well.
So now for Vestavia, a lot of new bodies in. You just want to keep everything in front. Don't give up a big explosive play.
Far side handoff. On the carry for Prattville, as they're going deep, is, well, that's Blackman.
Yeah, and that's been the one surprise. That's only the 7th carry for Blackman, only 9 yards. If you would have told Coach Evans before the game he was going to get that, he would have taken that all day.
And there he is again. A couple of nice moves. And then Blackman taken down at the 30. The score dictated a lot of that. And when he had his chances early, or I should say his carries early, he was bottled up. You know, this Rebels defense has not been talked about enough. The outstanding, incredible game against Hewitt, the game against Hillcrest, and this one here, Chad, right now, one long touchdown for the Lions, and that's it.
Yeah, and only giving up 219 yards on the night. Look, Prattville trying to get some yardage here, but this is garbage time, and so it's picking it up.
That's the backup quarterback. And that's what he does. We saw him get him carry the first half. He comes in when they need the quarterback run. That's Braden Graham, who's a cornerback, but again, I mentioned the Swiss Army knife. And that is Graham now at quarterback. And he keeps it himself after the RPO and gets inside the 40.
That was a great effort there by Lincoln Goforth to come back in and make that tackle.
Handoff. Good yardage for Landon Smith.
Clock continuing to run. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the ballgame.
Smith had a couple of good runs in the first half. There he is again. Smith inside the 10 to the 5 and then dragged down at the 5-yard line.
William Cross, the safety, made that tackle.
And you saw Cross during warm-ups. You said, CB, write this guy's name down. Smith nets at the 5-yard line. Ball comes out, but the play was blown in. I saw 52 put the big hit.
J.D. Haynes. And that ball did come out, but it was late. That was a good job of Haynes by standing the running back up and then pulling him down to make the tackle. The whistle had already blown before that ball came out.
2nd down and 3 for the Lions. That is going to be a touchdown for their running back, Christian Blackman.
There's the light show.
The light show.
We didn't get to see that. I mean, just the second touchdown of the night. Didn't get to see it very much. Had it in between the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Now, if you're a visitor, that's the last thing you want to see, isn't it?
Right.
That kind of a...
But the fact that we're surprised by it in the 4th quarter, that's a good sign as the visitor because you know you didn't see it very often.
49-13 pending. And it's good to make it 49-14. The Rebels with just over or just under 3 minutes remaining have a very comfortable lead. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Vestavia Hills football on the Rebel Nation Sports Network. The Rebels out in front. Beautiful crowd shot again on a beautiful night. Did you have a chance to, during our prep, did you see the orange sky?
Beautiful.
Isn't that awesome?
It was beautiful.
Overlooking the stadium here. This is the Wetumpka Athletic Sports Complex. 18 miles east of Prattville.
I want to take a minute just to thank our crew tonight. This has been a tough night as we work through the broadcast, but John Versiglio, who's so awesome every single week, does so much work to make this happen. Vestavia Hills High School Teacher of the Year, Abby Gillette, who stepped in big time here tonight. We got Stephen Gill running stats, Roger Jackson, our spotter, a host of outstanding students running the cameras. Our guy Matt running the camera as well.
Matt Wyatt, my Sanford Bulldog.
It takes a lot of effort, a lot of people doing a lot of great work to make this happen, but we appreciate Athletic Director Myra Miles, Assistant Athletic Directors John Simmons, Laura Casey, and Coach Robert Evans and his staff. Dr. Abnett, the principal, just for letting us be a part of this broadcast. And nights like this make a lot of fun. This weather could not be better, and this performance could not have been much better for the Rebels either.
Clap of the hands, and then the handoff as the Rebels keep it on the ground. Just trying to get to the finish line with a minute 30 remaining.
And that carry is going to take Vestavia over 500 yards of total offense in tonight's ballgame. 503 to be exact. Anytime you have a 5 before any stat,
is that good?
That is really, really good. 188 through the air, 315 yards on the ground.
And by the way, Charlie Taft pulling at Jared Goff was perfect. 11 for 11. 188, 2 touchdowns.
Oh! The kneel down is going to take him under 500.
4 and change. 4 and heavy change.
Oh! So it looks like the Rebels are going to have to snap it one more time. So got over 500, but then they're going to take 2 consecutive knees, and that's going to take them back under. But regardless, a phenomenal offensive performance for the Rebels.
Final 20 seconds. Back on the road next week, as we mentioned, a little bit easier in terms of the geography. Oak Mountain and Tuscaloosa at home as the Rebels and Robert Evans wrap up their second region win. A dominating performance, 49-14.
Yeah, I think we've used every superlative that was available here tonight. Not much more to say other than it was a dominant performance for Vestavia. The Rebels are going to move to 2-4 on the season, 2-2 in the region, more importantly. And you have these next 2 games at Oak Mountain, at home versus Tuscaloosa County. And then if you're able to win those 2, that takes you to 4-2. It makes you feel pretty good about your playoff spot. And then you would play Hoover in the last regular season game of the region to potentially affect seeding, depending on how things play out. But regardless, you got the win tonight that you needed. When we went to Hillcrest a few weeks back, we said you got to win that game if you want to stay alive in the playoff berth. Vestavia was dominant in that game. Tonight, if you want to stay in the playoffs, you have to win tonight's game. The Rebels were dominant once again. They moved to 2-4 and lived to fight another week.
For the Rebels, an outstanding top-to-bottom, kick-to-kick win, 49-14. Perfection from the sophomore quarterback, Charlie Taft, 11 for 11. Noah Boylan ran well in that first half. Bruce Littleton wound up with a couple of touchdowns. A coming-of-ages performance for Chase Webb. 5 catches, 5 targets, 106 yards, 42 on the longest one, including a touchdown. Luke Stubbs, a touchdown, and a dominating performance by Vestavia Hills. So the Rebels are 2-4, as Chad mentioned, overall, and now they get to 500 in Region 3 play. 2 wins and 2 losses, with Oak Mountain coming up next. So for our outstanding crew and our entire Rebel Nation, for my broadcast partner, Chad Pilcher, this is Kurt Bloom, CB, saying we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching us on the Rebel Nation Sports Network.
This is Coach Robert Evans at Vestavia High School. I want to personally thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. We appreciate your support, and go Rebels.